when the news has you confused and you can't understand what's going on. What the heck? Grab a deck for insight from Banshee and Oberon. It's WTF with TFT, WTF with TFT, WTF with TFT. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. It's another version of WTF with TFT. Hi, everybody. Welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Oberon.
Me Banshee.
And you know, it seems like just a moment ago that we were here doing WTF.
We are filming back to back
So
WTFs because these are important issues facing the U.S. right now, and we could not ignore them. And besides that, we need to WTF what's going on. Seriously.
And we really
What the
appreciate
heck?
your
Grab
feedback.
a deck.
We really appreciate your feedback. So please, after watching these shows, leave a comment. Let us know if you like them or not.
Constructive comments, please.
Absolutely.
Keep it clean. It's okay to disagree with us. I accept that. So good luck with that. Keeping it clean, because I will remove comments, okay? So.
All right, so this is our second session, and we have a new topic.
Okay. It is a very important topic. We covered in the previous one what's going on with the military meeting, and now we're going to cover the general question, WTF is the likelihood that there will be a government shutdown on October 6th.
Do you have a cough drop?
No, I said I didn't bring them. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I hope you'll be okay. If not, we'll cut it out. We'll do a cut. Anyway, so the general question we're going to throw 5 cards for. And then 1 card for each of the questions that follow. I'm going to shuffle and I'm going to hand it to Mr. O to cut. One more.
You know, I almost wonder if we should have done this one as a yes or no.
I think not.
Okay.
The cards will tell us. Because actually, when I think about it, the reading in the previous one could have been a yes-no too. So, and it's just a likelihood. We're going to look at the factors surrounding this whole government shutdown that's, talk that's been going on, and the divide that's pulling Congress apart, the Senate apart. Even some Democrats apart. I believe Fetterman wants to vote for the budget. So there is that. All right, 5 cards to see what's going on with this budget crisis. Okay, well, we have the Queen of Cups upright. Do I have a little more room there? That's okay. We also have, we have the Moon upright. It's really interesting right by the Queen of Cups there in a way. That's sensitive stuff. We have the, wow, that's the middle card, and you know I'm going to go there. That's the 2 of Pentacles upright. Well, I kind of suspected this, and it's the 2 of Cups upright. You ready for this?
Sure.
It's another 10, and it's reversed. We had 2 10s in our last reading. It's the 10 of Swords reversed. Everything here points to no government shutdown. I almost can't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is that people want balance. Looking at that 2 of Pentacles, I can't believe this could be even possible, but it's possible here that some concessions will be made and a budget will be passed. And the only other thought I had, which nobody has talked about, is it possible that they will at least come to terms on extending the budget again? Will they extend the budget deadline? Now, I've heard a lot of people refusing to do that, but maybe if it's coming down to nobody agreeing, maybe that's how they achieve some
Well, it
balance.
seems to me like they almost always extend.
Right.
So,
Well, but they make changes at some point. So I think here that could be possible. But let's take a look at this. Do you have anything about the Two of Pentacles? Do you want to start anywhere else?
no, I'm okay with the Two of Pentacles
Mhm.
there too. The overall idea is that this is majorly about balance and that things are going to balance.
It won't be easy.
It could be indicating that maybe after it's all said and done, things won't be, there won't be absolute winners and absolute losers. There might be more of a mix.
It's really interesting to me because the Two of Pentacles does talk about balance, but that it's a struggle to maintain that balance. So I think there could be some, there could be some struggles in getting to that point, but it looks like everybody wants the same thing here. And so that's why I mentioned the possibility of maybe everybody finally breaking down and at least doing another budget extension because they realize they're not going to get there and that it would be less chaotic. However, there are some people that are threatening on either side to do bad things. So let's take a look at over here. We have the Queen of Cups and the Moon. I think here that people are going to go with their gut on this and they're going to do what's right. There's going to be a sense here that we have to take care of the government budget. We have to take care of the people. Think about, I don't really know that, let's just say one side cares so much about government workers being cast aside during a budget shutdown, but one side does, I'm sure. But the thing is, it may be beyond that. It's about the American people and the many problems that this will cause at this time. And both sides have to worry about that for their own reasons.
It's hard for me to get totally behind that idea
I know.
because of how it's been going for all these months now. But that Queen of Cups is saying that really there is a calming thing going on. There is a balance of emotions. And we see this throughout the reading that there are cards that indicate balance. So I think that somehow something has shifted, possibly more influence is backing that up. And
well,
they say that more and more people are talking to their congresspersons, their senators, and giving them, a peace of mind or telling them how they truly wish them to vote. Maybe by October 1st, this will play out more beneficially than we think.
Let's go to the last two cards because I have something to say after that. But I'm looking at that and seeing look at two sides coming together, like they're making an agreement. And there's some healing. There's some sense of we can dial it down now. We can move more forward now. We can put this behind us. If not for a little while, maybe if they actually come up with an agreed upon budget for longer.
It could be saying that maybe it ends that way, but it's also really, I think it's what Banshee says, the idea of moving beyond the most painful parts or the most painful sense of betrayal or antagonism or things like that. So it's like life after the worst.
Now, all of this being said, I'm leaning towards maybe there will not be a government shutdown, but maybe these cards came out this way to tell us what is necessary to avoid that government shutdown.
Okay.
And it's not saying there won't be one, but that this is what we have to do. This is what we have to do. And I can see that. So I'm leaning towards a maybe yes on this one, that there will not, or maybe no, that there will not be a government shutdown. I should put it that way.
Okay, I could go with that. And I haven't really, and I don't know that you did exactly the way I wanted to hear, the role of the moon, because the moon is the idea that maybe there's things that are not yet known, or things that can be found out. And so does this mean that the public mood changes towards the better because those things do come out, or that people are more pressed to find out what is really going on?
I went more with going with the gut, but I could definitely see that there are still some hidden agendas that are going to surface and that may sway things to go in the direction it's going. I don't know. But let's move on. Let's
Yes.
move on to the next
So,
one with with what is the likelihood, or how will the meeting go between the administration and the leaders of Congress, which is going to take place, I believe, today, the day we're filming this, which is why
I thought it was October 1st.
no,
That's in preparation for them.
right. This is a meeting. I think they're meeting today because Trump is going to the military meeting tomorrow. But I believe Trump is meeting with congressional leaders today. So we wanted to get this done before that meeting. And we are. I know nothing about the meeting, if it started yet, if it's actually happening again, if it's been canceled. So we're just going to throw a card and see. Right?
And that question again is, how will the meeting go between the admin and the leaders of Congress?
It's the Page of Cups reversed. Unhappy news is going to come out of this meeting, right? The Page of Cups is usually about sad news. So somebody is not going to be happy here. So whatever this is about here may come after this meeting. But I think that some unhappy news is coming out of this meeting. Or somebody's not going to be happy with the way the meeting is going.
It's sort of like a real big letdown to somebody's mind. Like somebody feels like they really felt it was made in the shade, so to speak, and the turnout isn't exactly what they thought.
And also, when I think about pages, I know the Page of Swords is more about communication, but I can't help but think here that there is going to be emotionally charged communications at this meeting today.
I agree.
Yeah. So let's pick that up. And let's go to the next one, card 3. What is the likelihood the Democrats will largely stand together?
You missed 2.
Oh, did I miss 2? Whoops. Thank you. What is the likelihood that a compromise between all parties can be reached at today's meeting? At this meeting between the leaders and, the administration. It doesn't look good relating to the card we first drew, but maybe somebody's unhappy that they had to compromise. Or back down. Whether it's the senators or whether it's the admin. Shuffle and cut for me.
And once again, what is the likelihood a compromise between all parties can be reached at today's meeting?
It's the High Priestess reversed.
That would be common sense.
Well, it would be in a way. They're dealing with practical issues. They're trying to. But the High Priestess reversed is like, are people really thinking this through? Are people really thinking this through to everybody's benefit here, what will come out of this meeting? So I'm not sure a compromise can be reached, but I do believe they are definitely trying to get down to the brass tacks of issues. However, they may be dealing with closed minds, and people who are not willing to, maybe just cannot see beyond their own perceptions.
There's a binary quality about the High Priestess, like in many cards, and this could clearly represent the idea that there are people who think different ways about this, and they're not finding the common cause, perhaps, or they're, at the end of the day, they're still not in agreement.
Okay. I like this.
Okay.
Well, the next question is, and it might have been answered already because it looks like something's brewing here, but let's just see what it says. What is the likelihood that Democrats will largely stand together and vote no on the budget? Because depending on how many Democrats vote for the budget, and I'm speaking in terms of if there is no compromise, if there's no changes to the budget that the Democrats want here, what will be their response? Are they going to cave because they don't want to see a government shutdown? Or are they going to hold firm to what they said they were going to do?
Okay. The likelihood the Democrats will largely stand together and vote no on the budget. It's the Three of Cups reversed.
I think there are going to be people who feel they have to vote yes. And they're going to vote yes even if no compromise is reached. They're going to cave. They're going to cave. And I say it that way because, the Democrats have always, it's kind of like idle threats all the time. We're going to stand firm. We're going to stand firm. And then they cave. So I see more of the same there. I see that some in the party are not supporting the ones who still want to stand firm. There's dissension, as there always is in the Democratic ranks. There's less dissension in the Republican ranks, and in recent years, that's more due to forcing people to toe a line. But, in the past, they've always stood more together than the Democrats.
Well, clearly this card indicates no unity, but I think the thing it also represents is that there's no unity in the way Democrats think about these things, that there are too many disparities because some people are in this kind of a district where the concerns are different than the Democrats in another. So there's really there are too many different minds. They don't have as much unity on this issue as the Republicans.
Well, and because this card is about support and people, people that care for each other and support each other, with that reversed, it's saying that people really don't like the idea of voting no on the budget and shutting down the government and being a party to that. Even though, as everybody has said, this shutdown would be on the party, because they always are, on the party that is in control of the government at the time it shuts down. But that's the way it looks. So let's move on.
Question 4. What will the administration's actions be if the budget is not passed and the government shuts down?
Wow,
So,
this is an important one.
yeah, it is an important one, but it's kind of theoretical
It is.
if the others, show that it's not going to happen.
Maybe instead of WTF, we should have called it What If?
What if?
With TFT.
Well, that'll be this show's spinoff.
Because in a way, there are a lot of what if questions here. All right, here you go, shuffle and cut. And again, the question will be, what will the administration's action be if the budget is not passed and the government shuts down? It's temperance reversed.
So he's going to have a temper tantrum.
Well, yeah, so they're going to be very upset and they're going to act out of anger or revenge. Well, and I don't know why I threw revenge in there. It's really not part of temperance, but let's just say their response will be overly overly unbalanced. That's
Here's
a good word.
the word you're looking for.
What?
Temperance reversed is a lack of humility. And that's almost a general operating condition when we're talking about certain people or situations. So this could only mean that that would even be more showcased, more energetic, or whatever. Expect a really bad
Reaction.
reaction.
That's it.
Thank you.
That's it. Bam, Mr. O. All right.
Final
So,
question.
if the budget passes as is, how will Americans respond to this? Hearing healthcare costs are going to skyrocket. All kinds of bad stuff is going to come out for the American people. They don't realize it yet. You're being asked to sacrifice a whole heck of a lot to give the rich their tax breaks, and maybe the administration in the White House a ballroom. Okay. My thoughts. Okay.
It is the basic truth that in order to give the promised tax cuts to the wealthiest, these are the budget cuts that needed to be made.
That's right.
Great little country we got there.
And this is the final question. No wild cards.
How will Americans respond to the budget passing? I like that. A sense of creativity and needing to care for each other, those who are not necessarily going to be doing very well after this.
Right. In some way, shape, or form, people are going to come together and take care of each other and maybe look out for each other. And that could take on many forms. But it seems more positive than a violent reaction. So, for example, it doesn't seem like we would need martial law to be declared or troops in cities and stuff like that. Everybody is going to be working on ways to take care of one another. Maybe states are going to be working on trying to find ways to, circumnavigate some of these destructive things that may come out of this budgets for their constituents. Whatever the case may be, people are going to be more caring about what this means for others.
Because that is the real America. That's
Yes.
what really happens
Yes.
in America. And it may happen only in its own communities or neighborhoods or countrysides, because we still have these issues of otherization between us. But believe me, the people who live in areas where there are more brown or black people, they'll take care of each other, just as the people in the countrysides who may be affected by this will be, or people who are Mexican or Arab American or other ethnic pockets around the country that may be affected by this. They'll draw together and try to help each other, and other people will try to connect those threads too, so that all of us people can help all of each other.
So I'm just going to conclude this whole thing by saying, looking at the 5 cards still out there and some of the other indicators we had, that it seems as though a budget will either be passed or extended. And either there will be some compromises to make that happen if it passes or not, because it seems like one party may decide it's a bridge too far to allow the government to shut down and possibly give the powers that be in the White House the ability to declare martial law or fire people and stuff like that. And then when and if this budget passes, people are going to be very taking care of one another and caring more for what this means for each other. So maybe it'll be something that will bring more people together on, the right and wrong of this situation. That's what we have.
Amen.
So, thank everybody again for watching this show. And again, feel free to comment. Constructive dialogue is okay. Engaging and disagreeing is okay. But, let's keep it on level. Let's not make this a fight. And I want to thank you all. And we're done with TFT. until we meet again and something else kind of makes us say,
What the?
WTF? Don't you say it. It's a clean show.
What the heck?
What the?
Let us grab the deck.
We'll grab a deck. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.